Hi, welcome. This is Dove TV 250. If you are new here, subscribe for more videos. My name is Hafishman Dove. The topic of today, we are going to see all about condenser. As you see, and as you know, condenser is the one of the main components of a refrigerator. By looking on this diagram, you see that this is a refrigerator with four main components, which are compressor, condenser, expansion, and evaporator. Then today we are going to see this one, which is condenser. Let's begin with its meaning and definition. Condenser is a heat exchanger in which heat transfer takes place from high temperature vapor refrigerant to low temperature air or water, which is used as a cooling medium. Its purpose is to convert all the refrigerant. Its purpose is to convert all the vapor refrigerant to liquid refrigerant delivered by compressor. This is its main purpose, is to convert all the vapor refrigerant to liquid refrigerant delivered by the compressor. By continuing, let's see its type. We have three types of condenser. Condenser are three main types. The first one is air-cooled condenser. Second one is water-cooled condenser, and the third one you have evaporative type condenser. These are three main type of condenser, and each one of these has its sub type. Let's start by explaining from air-cooled condenser. This is air-cooled condenser. It is divided into two classes. First class is forced air-cooled condenser, and the second is natural air-cooled condenser. You can ask yourself, what is the difference between these two? But also can answer yourself as here we use forced air, and also here we use natural air. As you understand, there is forced air. Here air are forced to do something, and also here air condensate refrigerant freely. As an example, here we use atmospheric air, while here we use fan to provide air to the condenser. By looking the construction of forced air-cooled condenser, as you see, this is air-cooled condenser. This is the inlet from the compressor, and this is the outlet from the condenser to the receiver. As you see here, for forced air-cooled condenser, we use fan to provide required cooling medium to the condenser. This is during forced air cooled condenser. Another type of air cooled condenser is natural air cooled condenser. Here you see this is the inlet of the condenser. From compressors we know that there is a refrigerant which is at high pressure, high temperature, which has to enter in this condenser, and this is the outlet of the condenser. Here we use natural air during condensing refrigerant which are passing in this pipe. The atmospheric air condensate refrigerant which are passing. There is no force of air, but we use natural air. Let's continue with another type of condenser. Before looking on another type of condenser, let's see the merits of air cooled condenser. Merits is the same as advantages of air cooled condenser. For air cooled condenser, it is cheap due to simplicity, because there is no high complexion of constructing of many things, but we use the natural air during cooling. Low maintenance for this air cooled condenser. No piping work involved during air cooled condenser, and negligible corrosion effects because there is no presence of water. Disposal of air is easier, yes, comparison to disposal of water. You have air is free, it is natural, it is God made, it is Almighty gift, so we use natural air. Its main also merits, which is number 6, is high flexibility. It is flexible. Also, these are the merits, or these are the advantages of air cooled condenser, but not only has advantages, has also demerits or disadvantages, which are follows. Here we see the merits of air cooled condenser. The first point is that it is restricted to small capacity. It is mainly required to small. It is restricted to small capacities refrigeration unit. Also to small capacity refrigeration unit. It is also the rate of heat transfer is very low for this air cooled condenser. Another demerits, distribution of air and the condenser surface area is uneven. The next one, increase in ambient temperature cause reduction in the capacity of the condenser. These are the merits of air cooled condenser. Let's see the second type of condenser, which is water cooled condenser. Yes, the second one is water cooled condenser. For water cooled condenser, the condenser which is cooled by water. Here we don't use air during condensation. We mainly use water during condensation. The condenser which cools by water is called water-cooled condenser. They are always preferred where adequate supply of and inexpensive means of water disposal are available. In a place where you have availability of water, it is better to use this type, which is known as water-cooled condenser. These condensers are used in large capacity refrigeration plants such as cold storage. Yes, to understand its main function, they are used for large capacity refrigeration plants such as cold storage, ice plants, and central air conditioning. Due to its capability of working, it is used for large refrigerant plant. This water-cooled condenser is divided into three types. The first type is shell and tube condenser, shell and tube. The second is shell and coil condenser, and the third is double pipe condenser. Let's see in details each one of these three and have some of the content which it contains. First one, second and third one. Let's see in details on the following slide. Starting from shell and tube condenser, this is its construction as you see here. This is shell and tube condenser. A shell and tube condenser consists of a cylindrical shell in which large numbers of parallel tubes are fitted. They are explaining the construction of this shell and tube, in which the numbers of parallel tubes, here is their parallel tubes, as you see, parallel tubes sheet tube are fitted and connected with tube sheets. Also we have the tube sheets which are connected with these parallel tubes, both ends of the tubes. Here as you see, we have hot water out, cold water out, now cold water in, hot water out. Here we have a removable head, have a shell here, have refrigerant vapor from the compressor which enters this condenser, and that is the outlet of the condenser where we have liquid to expansion device, and this is liquid from the condenser. Here we have fine tube, those are fine tube, this and this and this also are fine tube. Here we have cold water which has to enter these pipes for providing cooling medium, and this water which has entered come out with heating due to the hot refrigerant which are passing through this, the liquid which are coming from the compressor. When it arrived here on this condenser, the heat are rejected by this cold water which are entering. Here it is cold water in, which are entering this condenser and come out with high temperature compared to the water entered in this condenser. This is shell and tube condenser. It is constructed by shell and tube. Let's see another class of water cooled condenser. The second one is called shell and coil type condenser. Shell and coil type condenser are used for small tonnage low pressure units. These type are used for small tonnage low pressure units. It means that it is used for small capacity unit. It consists of shell that contain a coil for circulating water. As you understand well, it consists of shell and a coil. This is a coil where water has to pass in this coil and provide the cooling required to the refrigerant. Here we have Condenser The liquid refrigerant here, which have to pass through this outlet, and also this is inlet of the water, and this is the outlet of the water, and this is the condenser the liquid, and this is refrigerant vapor from the compressor. Refrigerant from the compressor enter through this valve, and after reaching here with the action of this water, which provide the cooling medium, and then liquid come out with at a state of low temperature, and sometime here there is dissipation of heat. Here we have condensed liquid refrigerant which are come out to the receiver. And third type or third class of water cooled condenser is double tube type condenser. As you see also here, these are the construction of double tube condenser. A double type condenser has the condensing water tube inside the refrigerant tube. The refrigerant flows in space between the tube while water is pumped through in a tube. Here we have tube in a tube. Here we have a big tube, and also inside the tube there is another tube. This outside tube is a tube for the refrigerant, and then the inside one is a tube for the water, which will provide the cooling required, or which will provide the condensation required for the refrigerant. As you see, it is a tube. In the tube here we have refrigerant vapor from compressor, and also we have refrigerant, liquid refrigerant to receiver. This is from the compressor, after compressor reaching to the condenser, and then from condenser to the receiver. I think you understand this very well because it is, in a simple word, it is tube in tube. Have big tube, and inside the tube there is another tube which will provide condensation required for the condenser. The third type of condenser is evaporative condenser. The evaporative condenser combines the function of condenser and cooling tower. This evaporative combine the function of these two, condenser and cooling tower. It works on the principles of evaporative cooling. It is working on the principles of evaporative cooling. Here you see this is what we call evaporative condenser with its main features. Example, here we have eliminator, have header with sprays, nozzle. These are eliminators. Those are the features. We have pump, we have water. This pump has the function of pumping, and also have makeup water connection. Here we have air in passing through this one, through this way. I have liquid refrigerant and I have refrigerant vapor from the compressor. Here we have refrigerant from the compressor entering in the condenser, and after condensation it comes up with liquid refrigerant. Here the condensation is done in this construction. Here also we have exhaust fan, air out. Yeah, those are the main features of evaporative condenser. These condensers are difficult to clean and do not provide enough space for separation of gas liquid. These are the main disadvantages due to its maintenance. As you see, these they are used where there is scarcity of water, drainage facilities are inadequate. It is mainly used in these cases. The use of cooling tower, we know, is uneconomical. It is suitable for refrigerant plant above 10-ton capacity. For this evaporative condenser, which work on the principles of evaporative cooling, the water evaporation, when it comes in contact with refrigerant flowing in the condensing coil. In this, both air and water are used as cooling medium. For this evaporative condenser, air and water are used as a cooling medium. They carries away the heat taken from the refrigerant by the water vapor at 3 to 5% of water secreted evaporates. Makeup water is admitted to tank through float operated valve. Water treatment should also be used to reduce the scare formation in the coil. All those are about evaporative condenser. Let's see also the difference between air-cooled condenser and water-cooled condenser, because these two are the ones which are mainly used in large areas. Air-cooled condenser, as you see in this table, here we have air-cooled condenser and here we have water-cooled condenser. For air-cooled condenser, its construction is simple and cheap. For water-cooled condenser, its construction is complicated and expensive. As we understand, there are totally different in terms of construction. Maintenance cost is very low, and here for water-cooled condenser, maintenance is high. No problems of water and pipe, because don't need water for air-cooled condenser. While for water-cooled condenser, we have maintenance cost is high. You know that maintenance is high. Also, the pipe is required to take water. You know that the transportation medium of liquid or water is pipe. So here for water-cooled condenser, we need the pipe to take away the water. The 4-point low heat transferring capacity. This is a great disadvantages of air-cooled condenser. While for water-cooled condenser, high heat transfer capacity is provided. Number 5, used for low capacity plants. It is used for low capacity plants, while water-cooled condenser used for high capacity plants. Number 6, air distribution is not uniform. For water-cooled condenser, even distribution of water. Number 7, for air-cooled condenser, no corrosion effects and fouling effects is low, while water-cooled condenser, pipe corrode due to presence of moisture and more fouling effects. And the last point, high flexibility, while for water-cooled condenser, there is no flexibility. These are the difference between the two. And after learning all about the condenser, as a designer who wish to make his or her own fridge, choose the one to use so as to have your own choice during manufacturing your own fridge. So for me, these are enough for today, and let me thank you for your kind during watching this video, and also your support is a great strength for our work. Please subscribe for our channel so as you can grow up and provide more about refrigeration, hence improving and providing reliable knowledge to all around the world. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.